Hi, this is Eric Martin with BoardGameGeek. I'm here with Simon Milburn for Alicat
Hey.
Games, looking at Tinderblox, a very small dexterity game that was kickstarted along with Kitten, of which Simon is the co-designer. And so Simon can give us an overview of what's going on in Tinderblox. So we got tweezers on the table, which is always a good sign. I was just talking with someone, a short list of games that include tweezers. Tinderblox is now on that list. There's only three others.
One to add.
So. Yes,
but it's in a very
so
exclusive list, then I guess.
Yes.
So yeah, Tinderbox. We Alicat Games. We signed up this game as soon as we saw it because Tinderbox is all about. It's a dexterity game about building a campfire. So Rob Sparks, who's the designer, submitted this to us at the UK Games Expo. We signed it up, and the game is very simple. Just like Kitten, which we've just spoken about earlier. So with Tinderblocks, you flip a card and you do what it says. So in this case, Tinderblocks as a dexterity game is a very tense game. And we like to describe it as sort of like reverse Jenga. So you're building up from nothing a tower, which will get higher and higher and more dangerous as the tower gets higher. So yeah, that's Tinderblocks really as an overview. Building up this campfire. The little tagline we came up for the game was Tinderblocks play with fire, which we thought we were very clever to come up with that tagline, we thought.
Well, yes, it looks like you're starting with the basis for a fire there. You got the logs across campsite.
Exactly. So that's the setup. The setup is just place the campfire down, place the logs on, and we actually have two variable setups. So you've gone for the slightly more complex setup there of having a log over the top, but there is a setup as well to have it just three flat logs, which is a little bit easier. So yeah, if you flip a card, you'll then be given a sort of layout to stack. So here you have to stack a vertical log onto the campfire.
Okay.
So whoever's turn it is first has to take the tweezers, pick up a log, sort of arrange it to try and stack it vertically, and then place that onto the campfire.
Anywhere you want.
Yeah, anywhere you want on the logs, so long as it doesn't touch the card. If it falls off and touches the card, then you're out. Yeah. So next player flips the card again, and they'll get a new orientation. So this is a slightly different one. This is vertical log, but with your weak hand. So you have to, if you're left-handed, you have to do it with your right hand. If you're right-handed, you have to do it with your left hand. I'm not sure if those cards are shuffled because they might all be the right-handed version and then the left-handed version right after. So you might want to give them a quick shuffle just to make sure there's some variety in there. Here we go. So here we have two cinders on top of a log, and then the whole arrangement then needs to be put onto the campfire.
Okay. So first you build that arrangement off to the side.
Exactly, yeah. Build it off to the side, and then you have to sort of transfer it onto the campfire.
Okay.
So the thing about these logs and these blocks is they're very slightly different sizes as well. So the logs are so yeah, you would be out if you were playing a large game. But yeah, give it another go since we're just demoing it. So the cinders are very slightly larger than the logs. So there's a little bit of a knack to doing it right and to assessing where you're going to put it on the campfire.
Okay. So you're penalized or you're out if you drop anything at any time, or you have some leeway as you're setting things up?
If you drop it onto the campfire as you're trying to stack it up, then you're out. But while you're setting up, you're okay. It's safe while you're setting up.
Right, but if you're doing it on the campfire, then of course you've just risked injury to everyone. Just throwing logs on, and sparks flying off, and things like that.
Just too dangerous, yeah. So yeah, here you've got two logs flat on top of each other.
And then the whole thing stacked on top from that.
And then the whole thing, yeah.
All
And
right.
so when you see it from the top, it doesn't look quite so impressive. But when you see it from the side, you can see, oh, that was a risky move. Did you see that? That was a risky move. On
Yes.
top of all of that, you don't have to put it on the highest one. You can put it on the lowest one instead if you want.
And sort of possibly build wider as you're going. Okay.
Yeah, so you can build sort of wider on the sort of lower levels that might be available too. But again, we had great fun playtesting this game. When it was first pitched to us, it had a few different game modes, but we decided we wanted to keep it as simple and as accessible as possible. So yeah, anyone can play this game. Flip a card, do what it says, and then it's just lots of tense fun trying to build up this campfire.
Yeah, it really it does have the atmosphere of a pub game, or just something. Yeah, very much for casual players.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I was looking for stuff for this for like picnics and whatnot, although not this year, but.
Well, yeah, unfortunately not.
Yeah.
That was a tough one there. And you had to do it left-handed.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
we just keep
actually,
going until...
when we were playing this, we decided to make the tin big enough so that you could actually flip the tin over if you wanted to and play it on top of a flat surface, even if you didn't have a flat surface around you. So yeah,
it makes sense.
It's a really nice game to sort of introduce anyone to gaming, really.
And you keep going until just one player's left, and that's it.
Or that's it. Yeah, keep going until to one player's left, and then that person's the winner.
Okay. So yeah, there's not much else to say about Tinderblox here. Yes, it's very straightforward, which is
really it's
great.
It's such a simple game, but yeah, lots of laughs to have with Tinderblox.
Yeah. Most of my family does not appreciate games, but they will play something like this. So it's always good to have new choices along those lines. Anything else to mention about what's... Sorry.
No, I was going to say it's definitely the sort of game that appeals to those sort of people who don't usually play games. So.
Yeah. Are there other titles to mention from Alicat? We looked at Tungaroo before with Ross on. Talked about Kitten, talked about Tinderblox. I don't know if you have anything else that you want to talk about coming from Alicat.
Yeah, we have 4 games coming this winter, and then we have some upcoming Kickstarters. So we have Tinderblox and Kitten are our mint tin package, which are coming out this winter. We also have Tungaroo, like you spoke about, or Tungaroo, however you want to pronounce it. We have Dice Hospital Community Care, which is the expansion for our most well-known game, Dice Hospital. And then coming to Kickstarter soon, we have Tinner's Trail, which is a reprint of a Martin Wallace game. So we're really happy to be working with Martin Wallace and bringing that to the sort of modern tabletop in development with Martin Wallace. So that's really exciting. We have Eternal Palace from Stephen Aramini, which is a dice placement game, which you're also building some painting pieces up as you go. So really nice table presence for that game, and a really great gameplay loop on that one. And then we also have Dice Theme Park, which is the much awaited sequel to Dice Hospital. So yeah, lots going on for us in the next all these 3 Kickstarters are going to be run early next year. So it's a really exciting time for us getting ready for those right now.
It does look like it's one at a time, doesn't it?
Yeah, Tinner's Trail, I know there's various changes to it. It was a 3 to 4 player game, and now what is it, 1 to 5?
Yeah, 1 to 5. Yeah, we worked because it's an auction game as well. You might think, how do you do an auction game at 1 or 2 players? So we've had David Digby come on, who's done some solo development for us in the past, who's come up with a really interesting auction system for 2 players, which works really well at 1 players as well. He's come up with a whole brand new solo mode. Extending it to 5 players was reasonably easy compared to back down to 2 players, as you'd expect from an auction game. But yeah, we've also made some more changes to reduce the overall randomness in the game, because a lot of it was dice driven in the past, and now we have some tiles instead to make that a little bit that randomness, that there's still some variability in there, kept in there from the tiles, but it's not quite so swingy and random, which the dice sometimes did. But yeah, we're really happy to be sort of bringing our twist to Tinner's Trail in partnership with Martin Wallace, who's done a lot of, who's helped us a lot to direct this development. So yeah, really exciting time for us.
Okay. Someone asked in passing, what happens if you place all the components? Does everyone who's left wins? Gather around the fire?
Oh yeah, it doesn't happen very often, to be honest. So, but yeah, if you've run out of components, then you win. But I think you'll find that doesn't happen at all very often.
Okay. Anything else? Let's see. You can tell us Dice theme park. I mean, that theme park is very different from hospital in terms of setting.
Yeah, it is. So we've had Daryl Andrews and Adrian Adamescu, who've both co-designed this game. So Daryl obviously being the designer of Sagrada, probably his most famous work. But yeah, so they came in and came up with a really, really interesting dice cascading mechanic. So there's cool combos which you really like from Dice Hospital, but done in a completely different way. So it has the feel of Dice Hospital, but we're moving the dice around the park. They're going on all the different rides, and then they're comboing to go between different rides. So although it seems like a big step in a completely different direction, it still has a Dice Hospital feel, and slightly, I would say Dice Hospital is a gateway game, or gateway plus as we like to call it. Dice Theme Park is certainly a medium weight game, so it's a step up in complexity to Dice Hospital. So if you enjoyed Dice Hospital, or you had friends who you've introduced gaming to through Dice Hospital, then this is the natural next step for the Dice Hospital line, Dice Theme Park. So
yeah. Right. Glad we watched them playing in the background here, just because, yeah, we hadn't seen those cards before with senders on top of each other. Very different from
there's a nice
log.
little variety of those cards. So we've got a second version as well, which is a Kickstarter and Alicat Games exclusive edition, which isn't in retail, and that's got some even more variation in the cards and more complex cards. So yeah, we actually designed it so that if you wanted to buy both, you could have this one to introduce to people who are sort of new to dexterity games, and people who consider themselves to be experts in dexterity games have the Knight version, which is a little bit more punishing in terms of the combinations of cards.
Right. Then you need to combine the two games somehow and then have kittens stacked on the fire.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it sounds like animal cruelty to me, but
they're not real kittens,
Go for
it. They are fake.
If you have those two games going on at the same time, you'd almost certainly knock over that fire into some cats and cause some chaos.
That's right. Playing sound effects on it at the same time. Anything else to mention? It sounds like we've covered most everything now and talked about what's coming.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're just really excited to get these games to our Kickstarter backers and then into retail. And then we've got some really exciting projects ahead. So yeah, like the ones we spoke about. So it's all going really well for Alicat Games, and we're excited to continue bringing great games to the tabletop.
Okay. Someone mentioned before we go a s'mores expansion. I don't know if you can do that. Do you have s'mores in the UK?
S'mores? You know what a s'mores is? Yeah, right. It actually took me a second to think, what are s'mores? Oh yeah, the marshmallows, right?
The marshmallow, chocolate, and graham cracker.
Yeah.
that'd be building something completely different.
Always open to try new expansions. Maybe that's the next Kickstarter after the other ones.
That's right. Well, that's stacking things. Then you have 3 shapes there. Squares for the graham cracker. You have the marshmallow cylinder, chocolate, log, and there you go. Put that all together. More stacking.
So we'll credit BoardGameGeek viewers with the co-design of the expansion.
Someone in chat, or maybe Candace. I don't know. People. Candace is helping out by sending me questions from chat. So yeah, Simon, thanks very much for joining us, looking at these upcoming releases from Alicat Games. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.